Swinging from street lights, I wish we could go back to when we went singing in the rain.
You are listening to Singing in the Rain, a podcast series that interviews artists, educators, and innovators who are focused on positive social change in difficult times. Singing in the Rain is a production brought to you by Claremont Lincoln University, CLU Live.
I just want, this is going to sound cliche, but I just want people to feel moved by what I am saying. No matter what that comes out as lyrically, music helped me through so much in my life, and it's why I became so crazy about it.
Greetings, folks. It's Dr. David Carter with CLU Live, and we are in the studio once again today with another special guest. And today's very special beyond our guest, because this is the first time that we are interviewing in the actual CLU Live Studio. Yes, that's right, folks. You heard that correctly. We are interviewing in the CLU Live Studio. And so we have our special guest today. What is your name, ma'am?
Halle Kearns.
Halle Kearns. Oh my goodness. Country music sensation. Doing so
like
much right now. Playing a guitar, dancing about, just taking the world by storm in Nashville. I want to start with the serious questions, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
What is a honky-tonk badonkadonk?
Oh, that's a great question. I think you'd have to ask old Trace Boy on that one.
Maybe so. I saw you with Tracy Atkins not too long ago.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was amazing. I kind of got to play this like pre-show deal, so it was like a 2-hour set, which was really cool just because I got to kind of get his whole audience there before he went on. But I met him briefly. Yeah. He is the nicest and simultaneously the most intimidating guy I have ever met. He is like 6'7".
Yeah.
And the deepest voice.
Yeah. So he actually talks like, I met a guy on Rita.
His low register when he's singing. Yeah. He talks lower than that. So he's singing constantly in falsetto. I mean, he just has to be. It's crazy.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me. Yeah.
How do you like the barn doors?
Oh, amazing. They're just killer.
Yeah, we had these put in just for you.
Oh, appreciate it.
I can't validate that, but we have these barn doors here, so we're pretty excited about that.
I feel wrong not being in my boots right now.
You know, it's fine. It's totally fine. You know, that's how we do things around here. So we've invited you here today to really talk about the great work that you're doing and really to provide that inspirational message to our students and all of our listeners. And you just have such a fantastic story.
Oh,
so tell me, how do you go from Columbia, Missouri?
Missouri, yeah.
Missouri.
How
do you do that? How do you go from there to the bright lights of Nashville and start impacting the world the way that you are with your music? How did that even start?
It's a weird story. When I was 13, 14, I started playing guitar, and I fell in love with that completely. That was my first love way before singing ever was. I was not a naturally gifted vocalist, I'll say. It's taken a lot of time and practice and work at it, but I fell in love with guitar, and I just started playing in my room, shutting myself in my basement at night, and picking away, looking up chords online and teaching myself how to play, and I thought no one could ever hear me, and sure enough, my dad's upstairs listening all the time. And
now, who bought the guitar? Was it your dad or your mom?
My first guitar was an electric guitar. I thought I wanted to be like a rocker. My first song I ever learned was "You Shook Me All Night Long" AC/DC when I was like 9 years old, which is entirely inappropriate.
Very quiet song.
Yeah.
Sure.
By Pink Electric. I think mom and dad both went on that one. If it was a Pink Electric, I'm assuming mom probably picked that one.
Okay.
But my first acoustic guitar I played lesson for like 2 weeks on the electric and never touched it again. When I was 13, 14, picked it back up. Yeah. I got it for Christmas, I think, from my dad. I started playing all by myself and just fell in love with it. And when I was about a junior in high school, everyone starts talking about college, and what those next steps look like. And I was like, I just want to sing. I just want to make this a career. I want to be on stage. I want to put music out on Spotify and iTunes and all that, and have stuff on the radio. And
where did that drive come from, though? Because most people will fit into that mold and just follow what everyone else is doing. Where did you get that drive from?
That is the best question that I'm still constantly surprised by. I mean, and confused about. I don't know why I was so passionate to do it. because all my friends were going to school. I grew up in Columbia, which is a college town. So naturally, if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to go to Mizzou. You're just going to, file right in, and you don't know, just go undecided and kind of figure it out. And for some reason, it's the only thing I loved that passionately, to where I was like, I don't want to go to school. I don't need an education for this necessarily, at this point at least. I just wanted to play. That's all I wanted to do. I played one open mic when I was like 15, 16. Played 3 songs, and I'm sure they were all like Taylor Swift covers, sure. But after that, I was just dead set on it. And I was like, I'm going to do this. So I talked to my parents, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to go to school. I think I want to go to Nashville, and I think I want to sing. Yeah. And they were like, whoa, slowly roll a little bit. Like, that's great, but like, where did this come from? And they knew how much I loved it. It was my therapy. It was my love, my baby. I just, it's all I did. So
yeah. So that was probably a pretty tough conversation with the parents.
It wasn't, because they're both so encouraging, and so they just want me and my sisters to find what we love and what makes us happy, and to run after that. And they've both, my mom's been to school, my dad's been to school. They've both done that whole path, and they understand at the end of the day, yes, it can help.
So would you say that a lot of the creativity was instilled in you from your parents? The fact that you have 2 parents in different career fields, but
absolutely,
they were able to maybe influence you with that creativity that you have?
Absolutely, yeah. 2 totally different. My dad does land developing, my mom's in a PA. Yeah. So it's different types of creativity, definitely, but they just want my happiness. My dad has this saying, then what? He said it all throughout my adult life. I would come to him with something like, I want to do this. And he's like, okay, then what? Yeah. Well, then I'm going to be a big star, and I'm going to do this. Okay, then what? Uh-huh. And at the end of the day, if I can't get to that, then what, that means something that has some depth to it, which is then I'll just be happy. Then that'll be enough, or whatever it is. Then it's not something worth pursuing. And so that was kind of how he approached the conversation with me whenever I brought this up to him and said, I want to be a singer. Okay, then what? Yeah. And then once I got to that, this would fulfill me moment, he's like, okay, great, I'm all on board. And ever since then, they've just been completely supportive, and they've been to countless shows. My dad's been to hundreds of shows. Yeah. Yeah, and it's...
And talk to me about that. How do you... You step into an industry with relatively no experience on bookings and other things, and you're doing something like 250, 300 shows. How does that happen? All by your lonesome somewhat?
Oh, just pure ignorance.
Yeah? Okay.
Pure ignorance. So when I was 18, I moved to Kansas City right out of high school, and decided I'm going to play a few shows or whatever. And I Google searched music venues near me, right? Yeah. I made a list. Wrote out a list of all these places around me. Start driving, walk in the door, just say, hey, I want to play. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. That's not a thing. So, but
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, some people are like, cool, we'll email you. Never heard from them. Some people were like, all right, cool, are you free next Friday? You can open, and but each show added to the next, and it just, it taught me how to go about it. I had no idea, and looking back now, I'm like, who was that person? Just to waltz in and think hey, I'm going to play a show for you. That's so crazy, but it worked out really well. And through that, I was out one day, just jumping in people's faces saying I'm going to play songs for them. And for some reason, I searched music stores near me, and I was going to just pop in and play a guitar. I wanted a newer one, so I was just kind of playing around, and I talked to the owner, and he's asking me, where I'm from, what I'm doing. And I was like, I just moved here from Columbia. I want to move to Nashville. I'm trying to be a country singer, And he's like, I have someone for you to meet. So he introduced me to this other artist in town, and I started shadowing her. And she kind of took me under her wing, and she's like, I'm going to make a radio tour if you want to be a part of that. So I helped schedule at 18 years old a 7-week, 70-station, 7-state radio tour for this artist. It just blew up. We started with 10 stations, and it just snowballed. It was me and one other guy who were managing it, and I was calling all the DJs, making all the connections. And by the end of that couple months of planning, she's like, do you want to come on board with me and be my PR person? And I was like, oh, absolutely. So we're driving a pickup truck across the United States,
oh my goodness,
going station to station. And it was really cool for me to see kind of that industry side and the business side of things. That I wasn't doing it for me, I was doing it for someone else. And yeah, just getting to learn from someone who's been doing it a little longer. And then after that, took what I learned and kind of applied it to my own career and just started playing like crazy. Just me and my guitar, wineries, breweries, little hole in the wall, janky bars, just everything. And then slowly started getting, more and more reputable venues and that kind of stuff. And eventually I started playing venues like the Blue Note, which is the venue I grew up going to all my concerts in Columbia, which is so cool. I mean, that's just kind of a full circle moment for me,
Right. So with the industry, the country music industry, I think about the Reba McEntires, the Gretchen Wilsons. I think about Patsy Cline. I think about Dolly Parton. I think about Casey Musgraves today and Shania Twain and all the folks who are out there in the industry who have this voice or who have made an impact. How do you find your voice in a crowded space like that? What has that journey been like for you?
It has been definitely a journey. That's a good way to put it. It is tough at first. It's really about finding who you are as a person, first and foremost, and being sure of that, because it does translate into your music. And if you don't know who you are, it's easy to see that. At first, starting out, I thought I had to fit into this mold of, the cowboy boots and the just the really southern draw and just a certain look. And what I realized is country is so open to new, what's the word?
Talent.
Yeah, just
Talent.
new, just creativity. It's
And
really
creativity.
open to it's all about telling your story.
Yeah.
Country music is storytelling. And if I'm telling someone else's story, then I'm not being authentic. So for me, it's been 4 months in Nashville of doing absolutely nothing but songwriting full time. I'm writing 2 times a day. Each songwriting session is around 4 hours. And it's taking that to kind of carve out of me what I have to say and what my message is going to be in my music. So yeah.
So finding your voice through that, and I heard someone say to me recently that they want to be their own person in that sense. And when you think about the great artists who are out there, that's fine, but there's only one of you.
Absolutely.
There's only one Miss Kearns.
Yes.
So and that's you, and you're finding your voice along the way. Talk to me a little bit about grit. This had to be a tough journey for you to move to an entirely new city on your own and to strike out and just start making it. Talk to me about the grit and just, what it took for you to really get stable and to find your own space and your own ground to move towards success. What was that process like for you?
It's terrifying, but because I'm so passionate about it and I love it so much, it almost blurs that. Like what I said earlier about the ignorance thing, so madly in love with this industry and with music that it kind of glosses over all of the fear and the worries and even the tough times. There have been moments where I've just been like, what am I doing? This is hard, and there's so much behind the scenes that you don't see. And but honestly, in Nashville specifically, I fell into such an incredible community there. Other artists and other writers and just people who are in the industry who just took me in and loved me so well. And that has been so crucial to my steps there. Whenever I'm getting really down about I just can't find that song that is me, people picking me back up and wanting the best for me and understanding that my success and me figuring out my path does not influence or impact theirs. Yeah. And that has been probably the best part of Nashville so far. Everyone is so sweet and so welcoming, and if you're not, you're not really a part of it anymore.
Right.
It's a contagious mindset, and in the best way. So that's been a huge help through difficult moments and difficult times. Is just having myself surrounded by really, really good people.
Oh, you hear that, folks? Surround yourself by good people.
It's so important.
Yeah.
It's everything. Yeah.
There we go. And so when I listen to your music, I hear love, I hear a bit of loss, I hear some joy,
yes.
I hear some happiness throughout. If you had to sum up the message that you're trying to get across with your music, what would you say that is?
Oh, I just want, this is going to sound cliche, but I just want people to feel moved by what I am saying. No matter what that comes out as lyrically, music helped me through so much of my life, and it's why I became so crazy about it, is because I just anything I was going through, I'd lock myself in my room, like I said, and just play my guitar or jam out to some, artist that I was really in love with and find a song that was relating to the moment I was going through. And I want someone one day to be able to lock themselves in their bedroom and turn my music up as loud as they can and just be in that music and help them forget about what they're going through and their worries and their troubles. And whether that's through like a happy-go-lucky song, just, like forget about it and feel good, or whether that's words that mean something and can actually give advice through that. And my sound I'm going for is definitely more of a delicate, tone-based kind of vibe. But the message is the more important part, for me.
Absolutely. So speaking of a message, our students are listening right now. Some of our graduates are probably listening and other folks. If you had to give them maybe some words of encouragement, somebody who's looking at a Nashville per se or something like that, and they're going to strike out on their own. A lot of our students, they start their own nonprofits. They go out with these capstone action change projects and they want to do something. Any message for them? Because you did something similar. I mean, you had the passion, you had the dream, you had the vision for this, and you struck out and you're having success. Maybe any words of wisdom for the folks who are right at that edge and they just bought the guitar maybe?
I think, that's awesome. The biggest thing would be the comparison game has to stop. The comparing what you have or don't have in comparison to the person next to you. That was a huge turning point for me, when I stopped looking at what everyone else had and looking at what I don't, and instead stepping back, getting some perspective on how far I've come, and understanding I'm on my own path, and no matter what these people do around me, it does not influence where I'm going or the journey I'm on. That's a huge one for me. That was a moment where I realized all these people around me are influencing me and inspiring me to keep going. They're not against me. They're not going to hurt me. They're, these are, and just that grit thing you brought up, just to keep going, because it always gets better, and there's always a reason you're in the moment you're in. Yeah. Whether it's hard or it's going really well, there's a reason for that. It's shaping you in some way to become the next version of you and take that next step in your journey in your life. So.
Sure. I think it's fantastic. And, it's a challenge today for a lot of people with social media.
Yes.
Not to compare, right?
Yes,
not
absolutely.
To compare yourself. And you've built thousands of followers and, people who watch you and tune into your music. What's that journey been like for you as far as connecting with an audience through social media, but at the same time remaining true to who you are and showing them the reality of the business, because it's not all glossy and fun and games at times.
Absolutely.
Has that been a challenge for you with social media?
That's probably where most of the comparison was starting to happen. Looking, I have some thousands of followers, but this person has this many, or this person has this kind of engagement, and it's all made up. And as long as your intentions are just to love people as well as you can with what you have, and that's really, and I'm not going to say it hasn't been constantly an easy thing. It's been waves of, this day's kind of hard, I'm feeling bad about this today, and I mean, there's going to be waves of that, but just kind of keeping that underlying mindset of like,
just being who you are.
Yeah.
Not looking at the next feed and saying, if I only had.
Yes.
Just being who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The underlying theme of our university, which our founders put in place, is the golden rule: doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. Mm-hmm. What part has kindness and just positive attitude overall played in your journey? Because you're a very positive person. Yeah. I could tell when I first met you. I don't know how many cups of coffee you had. But
zero, actually.
You had zero, so that's all natural.
It's weird for me.
That's amazing. What part is just being positive and happy? What part has that played in some of your success?
I'm only successful when I am in that mindset.
Yeah.
So it's everything. I mean, if I start getting down and questioning what I'm doing and being hard on myself and comparing, that's when I'm not moving. That's when I'm not taking steps forward. Mm-hmm. Maybe not success-wise, but like as far as like tangible success, but just that mental spot of I am not where I want to be yet, but I am successful in where I am, and that's everything for me right now.
Yeah. So I have a twofer for you, two-part question here when you think about this. So with artists like yourself who are doing so much and are working so hard towards a common goal, why would you say it's important for others to support those artists? You described a lot of support that you've received in Nashville. So that's the first part of the question. I want that to rest, and then I'll move into the next one.
Okay.
But why would you say it's so important for a community to support artists like yourself when you come into that community and you're relatively unknown and you're striking out? And obviously you were well received in that town. So why is that support important?
It keeps you going, and through that you are able to give that to other people as well and keep them going. It's a cycle thing. It's kind of the cup overflows type analogy. You know, like they give to me when I need it, so I can give to them when they need it. And it's just a continuous encouragement, and you're building everyone up, and that never does anything but build you up too, you know. And
that's fantastic. You ready for the second part of that?
Give it to me.
So
yes.
Why is it important to support a work like Claremont Lincoln University? You know, I described some of our founding, Mr. David C. Lincoln, and his heart and his passion towards education, and several others who are part of this foundation. And all of our graduates and the work that our students are currently doing as well towards positive social change. Why would you say it's important to support universities like ours?
I love your all's approach to how you treat your students and how you treat your community, and I think that's just like a huge bonus to your university specifically, just the mindset of embetterment for a community instead of everyone for themselves kind of mentality, you know. I really love what you all do, and I think that's incredibly crucial to not only these students' education, but for the rest of their lives. It's setting them in that mindset and putting them in that habit now to always be that way with or without the university. You know, outside of it, once they get through their education, then they get to carry on that mindset, and that's a really important and crucial tool to have in life, and that's just really special. I love that.
Well, thank you. Claremont Lincoln, you know, we're all about that, and that's the aim. So we appreciate your support as well.
Of course.
And to all of our listeners who are hearing this, we appreciate your support. You know, we continue to strive to produce graduates who are impacting change in the world. And so I want to get down to the tough questions now, if that's okay.
Yes,
yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about Macy and her boyfriend. I heard she had a boyfriend.
Oh, Macy, my dog. Oh my gosh. So
I do my research. I do my research, okay?
You really do. Macy? I gotta start with Macy before I get into the boyfriend stuff. The boyfriend, whatever, he can come and go. Macy.
Yeah.
Macy is technically my mom's dog, okay? But she's mine. My mom would kill me for saying this, but she's my dog. Like, so Macy is a 115-pound golden doodle. Yeah. For those listening. I've had 3 other dogs in my life, and I love them dearly. I have soul ties with this dog. I have soul ties with Macy. I cannot put it any other way. I absolutely adore her. She's just the biggest, fluffiest, fattest ray of sunshine.
Yes. You know, biggest, fluffiest, fattest ray of sunshine. Yeah. I love that moniker. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's so perfect.
I can't stop smiling just thinking about her. Yeah. Oh, I love that dog. I'm so glad you brought her up.
When you have a mom like yours who teaches for us and does amazing things in the world of healthcare, I got to bring things up like that.
Yeah.
You know, I got to find out what's going on with Macy.
This is the behind the scenes.
It is, yeah. You know, I'm not going to talk about the boyfriend thing, but
Macy's boyfriend. I wasn't even there when she met him, which is unfortunate. But they just met outside a little park, and he's a golden doodle as well, so they really hit it off. But
I love it. Okay, so this is very crucial as well. Kansas City barbecue or Nashville barbecue?
I'm not trying to sound like a snob. There's nothing like Kansas City barbecue.
Thank you.
Nothing.
I was going to have to delete this entire interview. Now I don't, because that is the right answer.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying not to be like that person that's like, oh, Kansas City, everything. But there's just no comparison. Yeah. Anywhere else. I've had barbecue here in California. I've had barbecue in Nashville. I've had barbecue in South Carolina. there's nothing like Kansas City barbecue.
Thank you. Yeah, and to our listeners in KC, there you go. You have it. It's done.
You win.
So you win.
I am the deciding factor, and
That's it. That's it. Miss Kearns says Kansas City barbecue, and that's
okay. Which Kansas City barbecue?
That's where we're going. I used to go to Gates.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
oh,
I go to Gates if I'm in town. Yeah, I go to Gates if I'm in town, and I do that.
My favorite as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are we going to go with Mizzou or the Tennessee Vols?
Mizzou. I have to. Yeah, 18 years there.
Sorry, Vols.
Sorry, Vols. Actually, I haven't been to a Vols game yet.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, we're going to have to work that out.
Yeah, it's football season.
It is.
Yeah,
it's
preseason.
It's prime time for it.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. Okay, well, those are the two things. You know, when you grow up in the Midwest or the South, you got to talk about food. You got to talk about sports. You know, those are things. Chiefs. Come on, Chiefs. Pick it up, Chiefs. Come on, what are we doing? Lastly, I would say, though, it's been such a pleasure talking with you.
You too. Thank you so much.
And learning about, you know, the great work that you're doing. And it's very inspirational to all of us. What's next on the agenda for Halle Kearns? What's next for you?
Right now, I am just focusing solely on writing great music. That is, because that comes first, especially in Nashville. The whole motto is, it all starts with the song. You know, it's all about the song. So I'm really focusing on my songwriting and trying to get those few songs out so I can release them for everyone to hear.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less whatsoever. Well, it's been such a pleasure talking with you today. We appreciate you coming down to California and hanging out with us in the new studio. So best wishes to you. And folks, check out Halle Kearns' website.
It's just HalleKearnsMusic.com.
HalleKearnsMusic.com.
Every social media is some variation of Halle Kearns. Just Halle Kearns.
Halle Kearns.
You'll find
check her out. You Google that. You're definitely gonna find it. She's there. And you got a show coming up, Great Festival, something like that.
Yeah, I'm opening for William Michael Morgan again, and Austin Burke. If anyone knows him, he's a new upcoming singer as well. Very talented, and also a really good friend of mine. So he's awesome. Y'all should check him out too.
Yeah. And lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this.
Yeah.
Singing lessons. Can you give me a few?
Yeah. Wait till my voice isn't this raspy anymore, and then I will. I'm not normally
you heard
this.
it, folks. We're holding her accountable for that. If I can't sing in the next month, Halle Kearns, it's her fault. Send her emails and let her know. She needs to get me singing.
Y'all shoot me a message if you found me through this. I would love to talk to you and hear what you got out of it, and it's very cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, there we have it, folks. This is Dr. David Carter with CLU Live signing off. Halle Kearns in the studio today. We will be back again with another edition coming up. Stay listening. You have been listening to Singing in the Rain, a podcast series that interviews artists, educators, and innovators who are focused on positive social change in difficult times. Singing in the Rain is a production brought to you by Claremont Lincoln University, CLU Live. For more, subscribe, share, and visit us at claremontlincoln.edu.